So the wait is real. The rate, like, I'm basically creating this video to sort of document my emotions, how I'm feeling, um, any update I have, because the time is coming, and it's coming pretty soon. Um, my emotions have gone from just tell me to now I'm just scared. So I basically had three interviews. First with Angela Ruskin, which was in December, mid December. And then I had my Newcastle interview, which was on the 21st. And then a day before my interview, I got an invite for Southampton, which was on the 29th of January as well. Can't remember what I said for my Newcastle, but it was the 21st of January as well. And my first choice is Southampton. That's really where I want to go. Number one, it's literally the teaching style I want. I'm not really a fan of PBL. I'm doing it for my undergrad and it's nice, but not my undergrad, my master's. It's nice, but just tell me what I need to know. I don't want to be scouring through stuff to try and find the information. I don't want it to be like the main approach to learning. I like how Southampton is like the first 2 years. Um, you're just kind of mainly in lectures, learning what you need to know, and then you go and do your clinical stuff. I mean, I do understand like the earlier practice develop, but we do have that. Like, we do have that. Amen. But they do have that in the sense that you go to placement. Um, I think GP placement like once every 2 weeks, I think. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. So ARU got back to me, Anglo Ruskin, and they put like 230 people. Last year they put 230 people on the waiting list. So I think they reject like 50 people and then put everyone else on the waiting list. Doesn't really make sense. But they put me on the waiting list. So I didn't get a place. And as much as I want to tell myself that, oh, it didn't go as well as I wanted it to, it's sort of like I remember my initial reaction coming out of that exam, that interview was like, I don't know. Like I had no idea. Like it was but with my Southampton one, I was like I came out so happy. I was like, with my Southampton one, I didn't really have a chance because I asked questions after and I was talking for ages. I remember when it finished, I was like, that went well. That went well. That went well. And then I proceeded to ask my question. Um, so yeah, with Anglo Ruskin as well, like I did have like minor mic issues, but I didn't think it was going to be that big of an issue. Like even though I think two interviewers that was like, oh, I hear there's problems with your mic, we'll just see how it goes. I'm sure they would have heard me, like the stuff I was saying. And it kind of worries me because I'm like, I don't know. I think eventually I thought maybe I would have gotten a place at ARU. Is that going to somehow, in some way, translate to the others? Where I've literally kind of set my bar so low for myself. Like, not like so low for myself, but like maybe my bar is not where it needs to be. Basically, I don't know if I'm sort of good enough. Like, I know with my Newcastle interview, I the biggest thing is like, did I sound too scripted? Um, did I talk about empathy enough? Um, was I just too overly thorough? Because they're supposed to, like, with Newcastle, kind of like give you a conversation, like you say, oh, they'll ask you, oh, how do you organize yourself? Well, I do this, 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 and they'll ask you, why do you think that's important? And how do you think that translates to being a doctor? And then you just answer, but me, I just said it all in one go because I've done the practice. Like I know sort of what how to reflect on my experiences in terms of like what it means, what skills I've learned from that, and translating it back to medicine. Like that's what I do with all of my answers. And I'm just kind of worried that I did practice a lot, but that's just because I needed to. I think for a long time I've said there's a problem with the way that I speak. I sometimes don't get my ideas across coherently, nicely, smoothly, especially when it's something important. Especially when I'm just trying to explain this story or this concept and I want to get it to you. Right now I'm just talking freely. Like there isn't an aim, there isn't a purpose, there isn't anybody at the other end of this call who I'm trying to like read to see if they get what I'm saying. But I said to myself like I think when I first got my interview, I wasn't really scared of the interview itself. It was just like, how am I going to talk? Like, how am I going to get my ideas across? And I just said to myself that I was just going to practice as much as possible. If I got to script it and then act on the day, I will because there was no other way. Sorry. Because I knew that some people can have bullet points and just remember the bullet points. But sometimes my mind will just go my mind will just go blank and I didn't want that to happen. So I tried to do the best thing possible, which meant if I had to memorize my answers and fake it on the day that I don't, know what I'm talking about, so be it. Because there was no other way around it. But then again, they're not gonna know that. They're not gonna see that. They're just gonna see that, oh, because it literally said on the Newcastle interview prep thingy, we don't like it when you sound rehearsed. And I remember one of my tutors was like, just be careful that you don't sound too rehearsed. And I remember reminding myself during the interview that, wait, hold up, like you're going too fast, you're sounding rehearsed. And I don't know. It's like I gave it every, I gave the interview everything that I had, and it's sort of unfair because it's not like I struggle to think on my feet. No, like if I see a patient in cardiac arrest, like I know what buttons to press. I know how to do my ABCDs. But if it's to process, and it's not processing what's happening, it's more getting it into words. Because when you get it into words, that's a whole other ball game. Especially if it's something where you've got to think completely out of the box on your feet. When you're seeing patients every day, when you're in that world every day, there's a certain structure to things. You're kind of saying the same thing every day, and you know the things that you wish you don't want to say every day. Cold blue. This patient has, you know what I'm trying to say. It's just kind of upsetting, you know. I just don't know, kind of like where my life is gonna head. I'm gonna stay on this course, but it's like if I get, three basically rejections, all I'm gonna hear next is you can try again. And I'm thinking, what more could I have given? What more could I give to that application process? It's another thing if my UCAT was shit. It's another thing, but I scored in the top 10%. It's another thing if I didn't have tutors, I didn't go on 300 for, I didn't go on, £100 worth of courses. That's another thing. If I didn't spend £80 for a mock interview, that's another thing. I did everything I could. I whipped out my DSLR camera. I looked good. My hair was laid. Bro, I practiced every single day. I went through all the hot topics. I did everything that I could. What more could I give? I didn't get interviews. I got three, and I probably would have gone four because of Kent. They did an extra exam after the UCAS deadline, which wasn't the UCAT, and it was the CASPER exam. And you basically have to type um, three questions in 5 minutes of an ethical scenario. And I know that I'm good at situational judgment. Like I'm innately good at situational judgment, in the sense that I barely revise. Like I think in the first time I took it, I revised probably about 3 hours on it. I did the questions at the back of the 1,200 book, and I got band one. And this year I was so stupid. I left it so last minute. Just because I was like, oh, last year I got band one, but this time I left it so late and I only practiced for about 20 minutes. Just going, rewriting my notes and then doing a couple. I did do a practice test on one of the mocks, but you should just skip through them. And then I turned out with a band one again. But this test was different in the sense that I had to type it out. And I tried, but it wasn't tailored to somebody with dyslexia, dyspraxia, and ADHD. It just wasn't. So I really tried to tailor my personal statement to Kent, um, in terms of like what they wanted, um, community work and things like that. And I just thought maybe that was going to be enough, but wasn't off the place interview. And I like the physician associate course, like I'm on it, but I am so behind. I am at least 4 months behind, and this course does not wait for nobody. My placement, I've literally missed 3 quarters of placement because literally it was my DBS meant that I missed 4 weeks and they didn't want me back because of COVID while everybody else got to go back. And I'm just like, there has to be a deeper meaning to this because I'm like stuck here in Brighton, like it's nice, but I just feel very much out of place. Like I need to go. And it's scary. Like people say, like whatever God's will is, let it be. And sometimes I wish I had invited him closer to the start of this whole process, but he showed through, bro. I was getting like little psychic dreams, or prophecies in my dreams. 2 days before I would have like the interview. But I think once I clocked on, now my dreams are just very shady. I know what's real, what's not. This is just kind of like a rant. It's very nerve-wracking every day. It's hard. It's really hard. But I'll know soon. Maybe next week. It's really hard. And I guess I can say I'm scared. I'm really scared. Am I good enough? I think with my UCAT, I kind of had an edge. Like I did get 50% extra time, but which is definitely needed. I think I used about 10 minutes in situational judgment just to relax my head. Like I used about 5, 10 minutes just to like not take a nap, but close my eyes. And it's just kind of even funny. Like since lockdown, I developed anxiety, and God forbid this stays with me. I don't know how you man with diagnosed with anxiety do it, but I do not want to be part of this club. Like, no, bring the meds, bring the meds. No way. It's especially when every day you wake up and you're doing a course that you do not want to do. It's like a constant reminder. But as much as sort of you waking up every day, not knowing if you're going to be working as a HCA for another year and not knowing what the next step is, that equally is shit. Um, Especially like for the A level students, like you don't even know you've now got to like prove to your teachers that you're worth it, which is a whole different ball game because usually you're just focusing on the content. Your whole education has built you up for the moment where you focus on content, but now you've got to sort of think of new strategies on how to impress a teacher, and teachers are human, and if you buy me cookies, I'm gonna like you a little bit more, and I'm more inclined to give you a star, okay? um, so that's kind of stressful as well. Um, it's like every day I wake up just it's scary, and my basically my interview buddy, we literally would practice at least once a week all the way up to our interviews, and she managed to get a place at her worst. She said that that was her worst performance, right? She got a place. ALU was my worst performance, and I got basically a rejection. And I'm just kind of scared. Like, was I being too detailed in my Newcastle interview? In my Southampton one, I said, I'm sorry, I think I'm going on a tangent here. Um, I said that 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and I shouldn't have. I don't know why you sent me to do that. I think I read it on the student room. So it's because I felt like I was going into that interview like blind, like too blind. And I was like, I don't even know if what I'm saying is right or wrong. I think there was a question that I had to ask them to sort of rephrase. And I'm really happy that I didn't sort of give up because I think maybe some people would have just carried on talking absolute shit and not have sort of stopped and asked again because I had done so much prep and I felt like I was just talking out of my ass. And she had to like sort of rephrase the question like 3 times. And when I got it, they were like both of them nodded their head enthusiastically. Enthusiastically, they were like, yes, like you actually got it. And it was something about the effectiveness of a drug, I said, and um, whether it's cheap or whether, and the storage of the drug. I think maybe on that point, they were like, um, I think there was one question out of all of them that I got an excellent, which was the last question, which kind of wrapped it up nicely. Um, which was how to cope with stress. And I brought in my ADHD, and I remember when I said ADHD, they were like, they're like, oh, okay, like, and yeah, I got ADHD, but does not mean I'm not gonna be an amazing doctor, bro. I'm gonna be the best doctor y'all ever see. I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the one. I am. I think even on this course, I'm kind of seeing my strengths every day. My ability to sort of, especially when it comes to interview, like when it comes to like exam questions, because sometimes I do them with my friends, and it's easy for me to pick up the key information in text, um, very very easily, and I'm able to make the connections quite quickly in my brain. Um, So like if it's just like a 96-year-old woman with dementia comes in with right color key pain, I can see those key stuff. I don't really read the question, which kind of was like in quantitative reasoning. I got to a stage where I wasn't really reading like what is the main, what is the percentage change for the industrial revolution versus the tax income. I will literally just see percentage change, look at the shape of the word versus another shape of the word, try and locate that shape of the word, and then know that it's percentage change. So do a quick calculation, bam, bam, which is similar to like the questions that I get. This is so off track. I'm so sorry, guys. But like, it would be in the question, I'll get the 96 female right colored key pain obs say this, what is the differential? My brain will quickly go, bam. And I think all I need is to get onto this course to really like push my confidence as well. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do one of these every day to hopefully keep me on track and keep me feeling good. Scary. I think on Monday, so today's the 25th. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Saturday, Sunday, 28th. Monday, the 1st of March. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like literally 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now would be the 4th, then the 10th or the 11th. Scary. What if I just get all rejections? It would just be really sad. It would be really, really sad. Like, I don't know how. On that note, I think I gotta go. Thanks for listening.